Welcome to Fun Facts Daily, your source for just the good stuff. Monday through Friday, we're bringing fun facts and news you can use, all carefully curated to uplift and inform. So give yourself a break, relax, and learn something awesome in just a few minutes every day. Hi everyone, I'm Kyle Wood, and today we're going to be learning all about the Olympic sport of skeleton. And I'm going to be doing another one of my giveaways. I'm going to send a $50 Visa gift card to one randomly selected listener who emails me the word of the day from this episode by Sunday, February 22nd. All you have to do for your chance to win is send an email to funfactsdailypod@gmail.com and put our word of the day in the subject. Do that by February 22nd. Then I'll randomly select one winner and send them a $50 Visa gift card as my way of saying thanks for listening. Now, as always, before we get into the fun facts, let's warm up our brains with a little challenge to see if you can tell fact from fiction. Consider this. Many people think that the Olympics are strictly a young person's game, especially in a sport as physically punishing as skeleton. These athletes fly down a mountain head first at about 80 to 90 miles an hour. That kind of activity requires a combination of quick reflexes and a disregard for one's personal safety that you tend to only find in teenagers and 20-somethings. But what if I told you that skeleton is a sport where, let's say, a seasoned athlete can not only compete, they can win the gold? What do you think? Would you believe a man could beat out competitors half his age to win Olympic gold in skeleton? We'll find out at the end of the episode. Now for your word of the day. Our word for today is pronation. That's Pronation. In the context of skeleton, pronation is referring to the specific way an athlete uses their body weight, their shoulders and knees in particular, to steer the sled. Since skeleton sleds don't have a steering wheel or rudder, the athlete has to use subtle shifts in their physical posture to guide the sled through high G turns. The word comes from the Latin pronare, meaning to bend forward or lean. And that's what the athletes are really doing, tilting their body to maintain control on the ice. Understanding pronation is essential to any sliding sport, but it's particularly vital in skeleton because the athlete is lying face down. By applying pressure with one shoulder or the opposite knee, the athlete can influence the direction of the runners, which are the steel blades the sled slides on. It's a game of millimeters. Leaning too far can cause the sled to skid and lose speed, while not leaning enough might result in a collision with the wall. This technical mastery of pronation turns the human body into a precision steering instrument. Time for your daily high five, our top 5 fun facts about skeleton. Number 1. The sport of skeleton gets its name from the bony appearance of the original metal sleds. When the sport was first gaining popularity in the 19th century in St. Moritz, Switzerland, the sleds were made of simple metal frames. Someone remarked that the stripped-down, ribbed design looked remarkably like a human rib cage or a skeleton. And the name stuck after that, despite the sleds now being made of high-tech fiberglass and carbon fiber. Interestingly, before the name skeleton was adopted, it was just referred to as tobogganing. But once the metal sled was introduced in 1892 by L.P. Child, the distinct look separated it from the traditional wooden sleds. This branding also helped to distinguish the sport as a more intense, professional version of the old winter sledding. And let's face it, it also helps to add to the sport's reputation as one of the most daring and bone-chilling events in the Winter Games. Number 2. Skeleton athletes wear specialized chin guards because their faces are often only an inch away from the ice. When an athlete is in a full tuck to minimize wind resistance, they're lying as flat as possible. Since the sled is so low to the ground, the athlete's chin is hovering just above the frozen track while they travel at speeds that would be kind of illegal on most highways. To protect themselves from ice burn or accidental contact with the track, their helmets are equipped with a reinforced chin guard that can withstand high friction. This extreme positioning is what makes the sport's point of view so unique compared to bobsleigh or luge. While a luge athlete looks at the sky and the bobsleigh pilot looks through a windshield, the skeleton athlete is looking directly at the grain of the ice. Every bump and vibration is felt directly through the helmet, requiring intense mental focus to stay relaxed, at least to the extent you can be, while your face is inches from a blur of white ice. Number 3. The race is often won or lost in just the first 50 meters during an explosive running start. While the sliding portion is fast, the momentum is entirely generated by the athlete sprinting on the ice while bent over, holding the sled with one hand. They wear shoes with up to 250 tiny needles or brush spikes on the soles to gain traction on the frozen surface. A difference of just 1/100th of a second at the start can translate into a massive gap at the finish line just because of the simple laws of acceleration. Once the athlete has reached maximum running speed, they have to perform a load, which is a delicate leap onto the sled without causing it to wobble. If the load is messy, the sled will fishtail, hitting the walls and losing all that built-up kinetic energy. And because this running speed is so important, most elite skeleton racers are actually former track and field sprinters. Number 4. Skeleton was the first sliding sport to be held at the Olympics, but it disappeared for over 50 years. Skeleton actually made its debut at the 1928 Winter Olympics in St. Moritz, which is considered the birthplace of the sport. It appeared again in 1948, also in St. Moritz, but it was then dropped from the Olympic program for over half a century. It wasn't until the 2002 Salt Lake City Games that skeleton finally became a permanent fixture for both men and women. The long absence was largely due to the sport's reputation for being just, frankly, extremely dangerous, and it didn't help that there are only a few tracks in the world capable of hosting it. For decades, luge and bobsleigh were the primary focus of international sliding competitions. Its triumphant return in 2002 sparked a global interest, leading to participation from more countries than ever before. And oddly enough, now that danger and the drama of the head-first perspective has really led it to become a fan favorite. And our 5th and final fun fact for today: every skeleton sled is custom molded to the specific dimensions of the athlete's body to ensure maximum control. Because the athlete steers using their shoulders and knees, the saddle, the part they lie on, isn't a flat board. It's a contoured frame custom built to fit their unique shape. If there's any wiggle room between the athlete and the sled, the steering inputs could be delayed, making the sled feel unresponsive. Engineers use 3D body scanning to ensure the fiberglass or carbon fiber shell fits the athlete like a glove. This customization also helps with the intense G-forces athletes face during the run. By having a perfectly fitted saddle, the pressure of high-speed turns is distributed evenly across the athlete's body rather than hitting a single pressure point. This allows the pilot to stay connected to the sled, effectively turning the person and the machine into a single aerodynamic unit. Now for some news you can use. If you have a high-stakes event coming up, a big presentation at school or work, a sports game, or anything else where it's really important you feel like you do your best, try rehearsing it like a skeleton athlete, playing a mental movie of the whole thing in your head. Skeleton athletes spend hours with their eyes closed, tilting their head and moving their bodies as they run the entire track in their minds. They visualize every curve, every bump, and every steer until they can complete the entire run in their head. This is important because when they're actually out there on the ice, they're flying at high speeds and can pretty much only see the ice. They have to know where they are and what's coming up based on their memory of the track. Skeleton athletes get so good at this, they can actually run through that mental rehearsal within about 1/10 of a second of their actual runtime. It works because scientists have found that mental practice actually strengthens the neural pathways in your brain almost as much as physical practice does. By visualizing yourself succeeding and handling specific challenges, your brain becomes pre-programmed for success. When the real moment arrives, your brain feels like it's already been there before, which lowers your stress and boosts your confidence and increases the likelihood of actual success in the main event. Finally, the moment you've been waiting for. At the beginning of the episode, I asked, could it be true that let's say seasoned athlete could beat out youngsters for the gold? Well, in skeleton, that's a fact. At the 2006 Torino Winter Games, Canadian slider Duff Gibson made history when he won the gold medal at the age of 39. At the time, he was the oldest person to ever win an individual gold medal in Winter Olympic history. Gibson's victory proved that while youthful speed is great, the technical precision and track sense that comes with years of experience are just as valuable when flying down an ice chute. Now, I hope you enjoyed learning a bit about skeleton with me today, and be sure to tune in every weekday for even more fun facts. Fun Facts Daily is an Airwave Media podcast. It was written, recorded, mixed, and edited by me, Kyle Wood. Thanks for sharing a part of your day with me. Be sure to follow Fun Facts Daily on your favorite podcast app so you can keep the good stuff coming your way every day. And if you like the show, please do me a favor and leave a kind rating, review, or just tell your friends about it.